Hey everybody, I just wanted to drop a quick message about forgiveness. The other day I was scrolling through Instagram and a message or a video popped up where this woman was talking about people who are your friends in life but maybe your enemy in spirit. And that was like really profound because I had never thought about that in that specific way. But I wanted to continue that by saying whoever or whatever you perceive as your enemy, maybe change the dialogue or your perception of that, or your perspective of that, to what is this person teaching me about myself? So no one is ever your enemy, but everyone is a teacher of some sorts. And I know that can be a difficult concept to grasp, especially when you might be in a situation that's extremely tough emotionally. But I believe, and it has helped me in my own life, that when you have this shift in dialogue or energy exchange, then you put yourself in a position to learn, and you empower yourself rather than being a victim of someone's actions towards you. And I think that's really important because getting out of a victim space is what's going to help us to be empowered, in the sense that we become accountable for the things that are happening in our lives. And I have to be careful with the language that I use, because there are really atrocious things happening to people in the world. And we don't want to shame victims, or we don't want to blame victims. So just be careful when you listen to random people on the internet talking about things like this, and not take it in that way. But outside of those really atrocious things, and even within those atrocious things, we can say to ourselves, what is this moment teaching me that I need to learn? And I think that is extremely empowering and takes you out of being someone's victim. And another concept that I think is relatable to this conversation is putting yourself in everyone's shoe, really doing it. Like, for example, if you dislike someone, put yourself in their shoes and see why you dislike them, or what about them can you see that might make them, or that might have such an energy that it's hard for me to say the words, because I have to choose my words wisely when you're speaking to random people on the internet, because you don't know how people are going to interpret what you're saying. So for example, let's say I'm going to use work, because I think a lot of people can relate to this. And work can be like, the scenarios of work can apply to different parts of our lives. So for example, if you don't like your boss, right? Put yourself in your boss's shoe. Like, walk through who you might think your boss is. And then allow yourself through that experience to see their vulnerabilities, to see why they might be the way that they are. And in that way, you become compassionate and you can start changing the dialogue that you have with your boss, not like your physical dialogue, but the dialogue you have in your brain about why you don't like this person. And as you put yourself in their shoes, that dialogue shifts and we become more compassionate, we become more understanding, and maybe you find some kind of bridge that allows you to work along with this person. You don't necessarily have to like them, but you can understand their perspective. You can understand where they're coming from and what might be causing them to be a difficult human to get along with in this moment. And as you do that, as you change that dialogue, you also are shifting that energy. And maybe you start changing their energy, and then that shift happens where you become people who have common ground and compassionate for each other, and you no longer dislike each other. All right. I hope I was concise in what I was saying, because I started off enemies in spirit, friends in life, but enemies in spirit. And we ended that with an example of how someone might be your enemy in the physical, but also a supporter in the spirit, but they're your enemy in the physical to teach you something, right? And I don't think anyone is our enemy in spirit, to be quite honest with you. I think we're all friends in spirit, and I think that when we take physical manifestations, we help each other, we challenge each other, we cause things to happen in order to be teachers of each other, to teach each other, all right? Okay, take care of yourself. Bye-bye.